start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, with my co-host here, George Carby, aka
Hey, what's up?
is here.
What's up? GAC is here also. I usually write articles on the thing, but we're just here to do our intro episode to the code.
Hope everyone is having a good evening and all the stuff here. So let's get into the big stories of the code here, the news of the week. And one of the big ones, very interesting, is since the recent release of Uncharted movie, which has been doing pretty good. A lot of reviews have been looking, saying it's actually a pretty good movie. The question is, are video game movies getting better?
Well, like I was telling you, in comparison to like back in the 80s where everything was just a cash grab, like the new Super Mario Brothers, the Street Fighter movie, video game movies are definitely getting better. So I'm very excited. I'm actually excited for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the new Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out. So what about you?
Well, yeah, I believe they are getting better because there's a lot of people who are familiar with games, familiar with these, all this other stuff that's are connected with the fans of them. They're getting in production, and just like the comic books and such. I mean, it took a long while before we got actually really good comic book movies and such. The Iron Mans and Shazams and all that type of stuff. It took a while, but now I feel like the video game movies. Well, there are still some bad ones out there. But I think there's a lot of them that are now coming out with the production values, with the writing, and with the people behind there saying, you know what, we could actually, we're actually caring about these games and such as these next versions of the medium. So I'm honestly can't wait to see the next type of video game movies that are coming out, and hopefully they will continue to improve.
Well, can't argue with that, my brother.
Anyway, that's our next
news.
Next
topic. We were talking about NFTs and video games.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I remember when video games just used to be plug and play and that's it. Like but then DLC, microtransactions, pay to play, pay to win, all this crazy stuff came into things. And now the latest, newest trend that the companies are trying to make all your money off of you is NFTs. So if you don't know, long story short, NFTs is non-fungible tokens. It's basically a unique asset within the game. It's basically like a collectible. Think of it as like one of those collectibles that you get from like the toys or something like that. That's what they're trying to sell you. So it's basically useless nothing. But what's your take on it, Duke?
Well, I mean, you forgot that DLC on the disc you had to pay for, which is probably going to make a comeback with this as well. Because honestly, I would not be surprised if NFTs are going to be the next big thing in games, because a lot of these companies are just they need to get all this cash revenue, they need to get all this money back or whatever. So I think NFTs are going to show up. NFTs are going to be there, and I think that it's going to be a lot of people upset about it. And would not be surprised when the stuff gets in. I think a lot of companies are going to get in and pull out, because some of them are going to pull out because, again, the negative backlash that the games and such, the gamers have for a lot of these things. And I think it's going to boil over. Some of these companies are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do this anymore. In fact, there's other companies right now saying they will not use NFTs in their games.
Well, I actually think they're going to try to do it the same way that they did with microtransactions, because they're going to slowly implement it and like wait for the next generation to make it normalized, just like they did with DLC, just like they did with microtransactions, just like they did. It's a waiting game for them. So that's just my personal belief. So this is a scary future, but hopefully single player games are the only focus that I like. Single player or multiplayer that just focus on the gameplay, no type of monetization and stuff like that.
I think that's going to probably be the future at first. All right. Next up is rumors. There are some rumors coming out that the next God of War, which should be God of War 6, because there was a God of War 3, then a God of War prequel that was supposedly God of War 4, then the
The
PS4
spin-off.
version of God of War. Yeah. So I don't know how many numbers there are. I'm just calling it God of War Ragnarok, which is supposedly going to come out in June, and it was leaked out. So I think I wouldn't be surprised it is going to come out in a couple weeks from now. They're going to announce it. But me personally, I think they're going to delay it a bit, because these things announcements, these usually these type of next gen games usually get delayed. So,
well, I mean, I hope for a June release, because actually a lot of gaming companies are realizing that they don't have to compete with each other. So like you're getting a lot of big games in times that you don't really expect it. Like they're getting more summer releases, you're getting more winter releases. Everybody's not trying to release their game at the same time. And also this game was also delayed because of COVID, and a lot of games were just pushed to 2022. So me personally, I hope this game comes out, because I played every single one again of God of War, from God of War the first one, all the ones on the PSP, the sequels. I'm just a huge God of War fan.
Same here, and hopefully one day, maybe a couple months from now, I'll probably get a PS4. Finally, play the God of War, the PS4 one, because it looks fun, and I'm hopeful that Ragnarok is actually good, and maybe be finally a killer app for the PS5, which is desperately needs.
Well, you don't necessarily need to get a PS4 anymore. You can just get it on PC. They re-released it, so.
Well, that's true. But my PC is basically, like 6 years out of date, so.
Story for another time. Upcoming releases, we got.
Oh, I am.
Street Fighter 6.
Yes,
Indeed.
I am. I'm pumped for this one, because I've been a fan of Street Fighter for a long while. Played multiple times their remixes of Street Fighter 2, and played multiple Capcom fighting games, and I love playing as Guile and Ken. Those are my two guys and such. And afterwards, I haven't played anything after 3 though. I haven't played anything after 3.
Oh,
So
wow. I've actually the opposite. I played all of them. Played Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, 4, Alpha, EX, all the Capcom versus series. I'm just a diehard Capcom guy. I can play almost every single character. Literally,
Wow.
like I'm not master at every character, but I can play. Like I know how to play out their styles. I know how to do all their specials. I know how to do their combos. I know how to play their play styles. Like so, I'm excited, but I'm a little weary, because Street Fighter 5 kind of like soured a lot of people's tastes. Like
the way they released it, it was terrible.
I've talked to a lot of people that like Street Fighter 5 put a terrible taste in their mouth. Like they actually skipped Street Fighter 5 and went back to Street Fighter 4, went back to Street Fighter 3, even went back to Street Fighter 2. They just didn't really care for it. Capcom was too thinking that esports was a longevity thing, which I mean, esports is great, but you got to really think about the game first. So they and even Capcom admit that they rushed the game out. So hopefully they can take their time.
Yeah, that's one of the things I worry about this, is that they're rushing and we'll patch it in later. And maybe a little topic for maybe next week's show about, we can have a little bit of that fun topic if you want to talk about that. How games have just okay, we'll release it now, the beta version. And this, just after 6 weeks, 6 years, where's the complete version? And wonder why people don't buy the stuff anymore. And that's what I'm worried about. This Street Fighter 6 is that they might learn about that. We'll just continue doing that. But my hope is that they'll release a full product. That's my hope.
I hope that too. Next game on our list is Capcom Fighting Collections. My apologies. It's kind of in the same vein of what's it called? They're basically just re-releasing all the games they have in their backlog, and they're actually putting online play. They're putting crossplay. I said crossplay. They're putting netcode, rollback netcode, which is very important for people who live far differences instead of peer-to-peer networking. And I think this is a very good thing because like a lot of people don't know unless you use emulation, and a lot of people have technical / ethical constraints using that form of stuff. So I mean, hey, it's...
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, there's for $40, I think this actually looks to be really good. You got like Night Warriors, Darkstalkers, Vampire Savior, Red Earth, Cyberbox, Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Street Fighter 2. And if people who have never played any of these games, I never really got into the Darkstalkers stuff, I think this could be a great way to introduce people, because these fighting collections, and my hope is that these fighting collections and people like that, make sure A works, because a lot of these remasters and such have been, messed up, that sort of stuff. Make sure it works and people have a good time playing them, and again, and also introduce new fans to these type of to these other characters. Like, oh, I see these in crossover games and such. Who are these people? Oh, this is where the game that came from, and play and become new fans of it.
Well, I feel, in my personal opinion, that Capcom sometimes does the bare minimum, and the fans just take it up, maybe included, because they have so much more in their back catalog they can put in. They can put in Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. They can put in Capcom Fighting Evolution. They can put in a lot of other games. But hey, it's like you said, it's easier. It's better to introduce a whole new generation of Darkstalkers. So,
yeah, that's my hope, and that is my hope. Is to find hope is that they actually say, you know what, let's actually start building and doing the putting in the work to actually make a decent remasters and decent stuff, because the one thing that hurts is the one thing that actually hurts it is the people getting into it. It hurts them because again, they're like, if this is bad, why should I go back and look at the original thing, because that might be bad too. So
Here's the Capcom Fighting Collections. Also released is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Finally, I think this is Gen 9 of Pokemon.
Probably it is, and it's and by the way, there's pretty much the one Pokemon game that just came out, the live action. Oh, this 3D. This is the Breath of the Wild one, and this one here that looks actually, they fix all the issues. Okay, screw that one. Here's the better one. It's just amazing how, Pokemon and all this stuff, just, I don't know if they kneecap it or just, I'm surprised these games are going to come out late this year. But part of me is like, I think they should come out next year at least, so the other game can have like a little bit of breathing room, because that's what I feel like. It's just like, man, they really, they kind of kneecap their games.
Well, Nintendo knows how to scam like Pokemon games, because you're literally buying the same game twice to me. Like, I haven't played a Pokemon game since Game Boy Advance. Pokemon Sapphire, that was my game. Like, my Game Boy Advance was my first girlfriend. I would openly admit that. But in all seriousness, yeah, I feel like I'm glad for the people who like have Pokemon, and I'm glad that you finally get because I've actually talked to a lot of Pokemon fans, and they want this, like they want like a next gen Pokemon. Like, they felt like the last Pokemon looked like a 3DS port. So
and it's a shame, because Nintendo Switch, you look at stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles, those games, and you look at all the other games that came out on there, they look really good stuff. And then this looks a little bit, Breath of the Wild looked beautiful. But the previous one didn't look that good. But I've seen the gameplay, people seem to have fun with it. But this seems like it might be the true Breath of the Wild one, which I just don't really. I didn't get into Pokemon. The last Pokemon game I got into was Pokemon Yellow way back in the day. So I don't really give that much I can't get into Pokemon. I'm like, I can't 100% be like, oh, I'm all into this stuff. But if it does, people might say, "Oh, this is good." I might be getting into it. I might.
Hey, I might get it too. Listen, I still haven't got Sword or Shield, so I got a lot of games to pick up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out, and it looks interesting. But I'm waiting until I think Street Fighter 6. I think that's going to be the game I might be picking up before those two. Those two. But I think if Street Fighter 6 is, I'm more tempted to buy that than Pokemon, because I'm just like, I'm just gonna wait until like these games get like on sale and get them, because
just
they
don't
gotta
buy
prove it
$60.
to me.
Don't buy $60 or $7.
Yeah.
So next on the program will be the highlight of the week. I actually found this clip. It's called "When You Finish All Your Side Quests First." It's a little fun video that I loved, and I was like, whoa, like, and it's this is just the truest thing for RPGs. Like, if you play any type of RPG, whether it be the Breath of the Wild game that we're going to show, or any like JRPG, you can actually beat the game just before you get to it. And
oh yeah, it's that's what it is. It's so true. Just completely domination.
There's actually a lot of RPGs that I played in which that, like, I literally go 99 and then I just literally, like, I usually don't. I'm usually not a completionist, but usually just,
I'm like 65-70% type of person, because if you do, it can just drain you. I mean, I'm busy playing Immortals, Phoenix Rising, so that type of RPG. You build your stuff up like that, and it can 100% can drain you. But if you get like 75% or 80%, you're like, okay, I can take on this the final boss. Same thing for your RPGs, traditional RPGs, like, say, if you remember Grandia series, or you remember the Final Fantasy stuff, and maybe the Paper Mario stuff.
But
those
it's
are
like,
games. Yeah.
I was gonna say a lot of those RPGs are very short, so what they do is they rely on grinding, and that's like, if you don't have a good system, like a good like gameplay loop or gameplay system, then the grinding can get like monotonous, and you just don't even want to play the game anymore.
But yeah, I think that's it. Is the side quest though. But that's a lesson, is that people say, I don't need to do the side quest. Don't do all of them, because if you do 100% of such, it makes the final boss look completely and utterly a joke, like the video there. But if you give like an 80, 75, 80%, you not only be like, okay, you're comfortable, you're comfortable, and you don't need to worry about it.
Of course. So next on our show is recommendations. I put this on the first article that I've ever wrote for 6zeros.net. I wrote the first game, Rogue Company. You should definitely check this game out. It's free to play. It's Team Fortress meets Rogue. I said Rogue. It's Team Fortress meets Rainbow Six. It's very tactical. If you're team-based, if you love games like this, actually, I think this is my gameplay. Yes, this is a gameplay between me and my friends. This was a strikeout mode, which is basically team deathmatch and capture the King of the Hill at the same time. So what you have to do, as you see, you have to control this point, and you have a limited amount of respawn. So 16 per round, and you got 3 rounds. So I'd highly recommend.
This looks a bit of like you said, the Team Fortress, or if you want to go really old stuff, it's like, looks a bit like a Counter-Strike, or stuff like that. That type of, like, you need to have the team to hold on to the position, stuff like that. So I mean, this looks some I think fun. Again, it's free to play, so you don't.
It's
risk
free to
anything.
start, and they give you so it's almost like Overwatch, where you each character has their unique ability to counteract the games. Like this character that you see right here, he's the tank. So his gun, he has the LMG. So he's a tank character. So you definitely have to like his abilities, his buffs, his guns all match his gameplay. And it's
so
almost
you're basically the heavy hitter.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I will definitely recommend this game to anybody that like has a couple of friends. If you have like a LAN party, in fact, that's why I have I'm actually having a LAN party, and this is one of the games I'm definitely putting on the list. So again, it's free to start, it's free to try. They give you 8 out of thing, and if you're ever thinking about, they only give you 8 characters even though there's 24, this game is always on sale. I'm telling you, it's always on sale. So
yeah,
definitely try it out.
I'm gonna try it out later tonight and see if it's because again, I like playing some online games and that type of team based shooting and such, because it's nice distraction, but mostly I'm more platforming and that type of stuff. So believe me, there's gonna be something like that next week, for my recommendations. But what you're going to expect, well, you gotta sit back and find out.
I can't wait. So,
and next up is the finale of it is predictions. Predictions of what Microsoft right now, since it's bought everything, pretty much trying to be the Disney version of video games, as now supposedly are reporting and discussing a Fallout New Vegas sequel, which a lot of people seem to really enjoy that game, even though it has a bit of glitches. But then again, it's Fallout, so that's pretty much guaranteed to have glitches and bugs and all the stuff that's comes with it. What do you think about this Fallout New Vegas sequel? Do you think people are gonna get into it more, or maybe is Microsoft wasting its time?
Well, me personally, I think that because like if you ever heard the background of the original Fallout New Vegas. Bethesda only gave Obsidian a year to make this game, so that's why it has a lot of like bugs to it. It's basically unfinished, and this is before like day one DLC and all that other stuff came into things. So this was basically an unfinished game. So, and Bethesda, Obsidian, in many instances, always talked about like, I always wanted to make a Fallout New Vegas sequel, but because Bethesda and ZeniMax owns the Fallout IP, we can't do it. In fact, that's the whole reason why the Outer Worlds, their spiritual successor, was to this game. So now that Microsoft have both ZeniMax and Obsidian, it's just up to Microsoft's big go. And honestly, in my opinion, if this sequel were to come out, it has to have co-op. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot play one of these big, massive, openly playing games by myself. Like, I'm just.
Oh yes, I agree. But I think
need somebody to play. Like, it's not that I hate open world games. I hate solo open world games, because then I'll just be like, what the hell am I even doing here? Like, that's me.
It's that open world games can be, especially with Fallout, you feel like you're lost. You're like, what's going on? You don't have a really. It's just this. It's frustration. That's
like,
what it is. And I honestly think if they do this, I wouldn't be surprised that I wouldn't be surprised if they just did that.
I just think personally that like Fallout 76, if it was a better game, I would have definitely bought it. Like, I felt like Fallout 76 should have been the co-op Fallout instead of like this massive multiplayer online thing that they were trying to milk money off and stuff like that. But
and also I think that Microsoft, if they really want to get people into it, remaster it. They say, okay, here's the code. You get more time to not only finish Fallout New Vegas, but here's enough time for you to do the sequel as well. I think that will actually help people, have a connection with Fallout, have a better connection with the game and such. Saying here's a do-over.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Fallout fan, and Duke is disrespecting Fallout on this. He said people getting lost. He's talking about bugs. I'm sorry.
Well, that's
it's
true.
not a first-person shooter, bro. I'm sorry they got a story.
I know. I
dialogue.
like Fallout. I have Fallout 3, but it's just when the game's unfinished, man. when it's unfinished, and that's what it is.
Now, Anthem was unfinished. Fallout's a classic.
Listen, like I said, Fallout should have co-op. That's what I believe. Like, that's just my thing. Like, I can't take open world games being alone. Like, I just get bored.
Oh yeah, I think co-op, but also again a more focused, gameplay.
Like focused gameplay and like optional co-op. It doesn't have to be like mandatory co-op, but like put somebody like, for example, Fallout already has like a partner system in it, so you can just implement co-op. Like, but again, that's just me.
But that's just, I think, a lot. Like I said, I think a remaster of Fallout New Vegas and a way like the true version of it, like a director's cut, as you will, something like that. Like here, 100% full, no bugs, the stuff we have planned, all of it here. And then not only that, but here's the sequel coming out. That I think would be a better way to actually get people back into the Fallout New Vegas, which is the forgotten. It's pretty much forgotten because a lot of Fallout right now has a lot of negativity since the whole online stuff. The recent video game, Fallout, the online game, which is an MMO RPG thing.
Fallout 76. Well, actually, I would say it's the opposite. Every time I talk to a person about Fallout, they always mention New Vegas. Like, no matter who they are, they always mention New Vegas. Like, I had a lot of Fallout games.
They love New Vegas, but I think the later on, Fallout 4 has people had bad taste around. Fallout 76, they have bad taste in people's mouth. I think that with Fallout New Vegas, people will be like, okay, this is good. We finally have something positive that actually says it's a single player game, focused content, and at least a goal in there instead of just patching everything up and saying, hey, it's done, and hoping the engine won't implode on itself. That's what Fallout needs. It needs to go backwards a bit. And the people behind it say, okay, here's Obsidian. Here you go. Here you go. We're gonna make this into something one of the best. And just do a remaster and such. But that's just me.
Just put in co-op. That's it. But yeah, that's. I guess that's the code.
I think that is the code, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for listening and being with us and on this crazy Wednesday night. Thanks so much for watching.
Episode. Hopefully you'll see us next Wednesday. We got many more things. Please stick around. Please subscribe. Please, share. We're trying to grow
subscribe.
Well, I was gonna say we're trying to grow a black video game community that we can fall away from like the regular community, because those people are crazy over there. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. Let's just do like the build this nice little lovely game community here. All right, so that's out of the way. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for at least subscribing, liking, sharing. Tell all your friends about this, and we'll see you next time.
Have a wonderful day. Peace.